Yeah, I don't know about exceeded, but we're definitely playing hard, Like I tell guys all the time, we've been building this thing, since day one, since we got here. I got a really good staff. We got good kids, they're playing hard. And, I wasn't surprised at how hard we played. Still obviously a lot of things we want to get better at and things we need to improve on. But, our standard is our standard in terms of how hard we want to play and how tough we want to be. So as long as we continue to do that, we think we got a chance to continue to build.
Obviously, you knew that you had a lot of depth on that front. You've been able to play a lot of guys in those first 2 games. Is that been best case scenario for you in seeing what guys can do?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a plan going into this fall that we wanted to play a lot of guys at every position, to be quite honest. If the guys work hard, we want to give them what they deserve, so to speak. So, we think our front's our strength just based on the sheer number of guys that we got that we feel like can play at a high level. So, that's who we want to be. That's who we wanted to be day one when we got here, and, we're finally being able to show that.
Just to follow that up, specifically on the defensive line, so early season, the heavy rotation, that's not like an early season experiment. You guys want to do that the whole season? Yeah, that's our plan. As long as guys continue to play at the standard that we talked about earlier, playing fast, tough, smart, all those good things, they'll continue to play. We got a lot of good guys there. We got a great mixture of youth, and some of the veteran guys that have obviously been around here. So as long as these guys continue to play hard, they'll continue to play.
Go to the back with Casey, then Rob here on the left.
This defense hasn't allowed a touchdown in 12 quarters going back to the Citrus Bowl last year. What do you think that says about them?
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't know that. I tell our guys all the time, we're on the next game mentality. Every game's different. We just want to go out there and be the best that we can be, every single rep. As cliche as that sound, that's the honest to God truth. I don't look at stats. I told you guys that when I first got here. I had no idea. We just know from snap to snap, we want to be at our best. And if that's what the result is, then so be it.
Coach, at linebacker with Keenan, I think everybody kind of expected that he would do well, but, he just played, I guess, a half. So what's it been like to see him actually go out there and put it on tape?
Well, I tell you, that's a great question. For me, it's very satisfying. He's a kid that's worked his tail off. He got hurt early in the season last year, and I know how tough that was for him, but he stayed locked in. He stayed with the team. He continued to push guys and learn our defense. So to finally see him see the fruits of his efforts, man, I feel like a proud dad, to see him go out there and do what he did. So he's a big athlete. We knew that. He's got great stamina. We think he's only going to get better as we continue to grow in this defense. So we're excited for him.
You may not look at stats, but a lot of the kids do. So, I mean, like when you're looking at James and he's not got a sack through 2 games, and kids, naturally want to equate that to success, how do you say, hey, you're affecting the game in other ways to let him know, hey, you're still having a huge impact whether you get the sack total up or not?
Yeah, I think for me, once again, I didn't even know that, they didn't have a sack because James was playing extremely hard for us. He's getting a lot of attention, just like we thought he would. So, I think as long as he continues to work hard and play hard, I think the sacks will come. He hasn't pouted about it. He hasn't said one word about it. I think he's satisfied that we're winning. We're obviously playing at a high level. And, as long as everybody's doing that, nobody cares who gets, quote, unquote, the statistics.
Coach, you knew, and you said in the preseason, you were more athletic in the back end. What have you liked about what your secondary has done through 8 quarters of football so far?
Yeah, they've been really good. I think that's, again, another great point. Those guys are really athletic back there, and they can run. Again, inexperience, obviously haven't played a ton of football, but I think where they lack, just the experience they make up with sheer athleticism. But, those guys have been very competitive. We've been able to rotate some guys at that position as well. We think, again, as long as they continue to grow week in, week out, we think those guys got a chance to really be good here and, give us something to be really proud of on that back end.
Ben and Patrick.
Tim, how would you assess what you've seen from Arion so far, especially for a young linebacker, played running back a lot in high school and still young at the college age? Just what have you seen from him so far?
Yeah, I tell you what, again, another great question. For me, I think I may have told you guys this, the biggest growth I've seen from him is just his football IQ. He was a freshman last year. Obviously, he played a lion's share at running back in high school. So to see the growth that he has at linebacker has been amazing for me. He's always been a good athlete. He's always played hard. But him being able to play a step quicker because he understands how offenses are trying to attack us. So, I've been very pleased. Just again, his overall football IQ. He's blessed with athleticism, but he's really worked hard to make sure he understands not only our defense, but, how our opponents are trying to attack us.
Tim, with the two guys at the star spot, Christian and Boo, what have you seen from them through 2 games? It seems like they've been pretty solid in terms of executing their job and their assignments.
Yeah, I think same thing. We're really athletic at that spot. We're a little green. Neither one of those guys have played a ton of football, obviously collegiately, at the star position, so to speak. But the athleticism shows up. When we bring those guys occasionally, we've seen some effort there and the results that we want when we're blitzing those guys. I think the more they play again, we continue to see different sets and guys trying to attack them differently. I think they'll continue to grow. But, right now I'm really pleased at what we're getting from the star position.
Through 2 games, what's the biggest area of growth you've seen from Tyree West?
Man, I think, along the lines of what I said with AC, just the mental part of it, understanding, leverage and being where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. He's always been a really good athlete. He's always played with great motor. I mean, he's in tremendous shape right now. He's playing extremely hard. But I just like, just the details that he's playing with it to this point.
How are you balancing the helmet communication on your side of the ball? A lot of the talk has been on offense. Keenan had mentioned how it's an adjustment for him. How's that balance between the play call and then those reminders you guys are able to give them?
Yeah, that's, again, a great question. It's a work in progress. I'm one of them guys, I try not to overcoach them and, get them a chance to play. And different teams are different, just, how much time is left to be able to give them the information that you want to give them. But, like I said, KP's he's a pro, he's works at it. The communication that we have had, has been good, but I think every game's a little bit different. I think the first game was okay. I thought it was better this game, and hopefully the next game, this weekend will be even better.
West and Page.
Tim, I think when it's late in that game, 51-10, the final 5 or 6 minutes, and you've still got guys like repeatedly getting into the backfield, making plays, being excited about it, is that kind of a culture thing? A lot of times teams just kind of play out the string in those moments.
No, yeah. Listen, man. The standard's the standard. We've been saying that since we've been here. When the guys are in the game, we've always played vertical. We try to get those guys an opportunity to play. We want to see the same results. We want the guys to play within the framework of the defense, and if that gives us a chance to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage, then so be it. But yeah, it was encouraging to be able to put those guys in there and guys not busting, guys know what they're doing, and more importantly, playing hard.
Saturday, Coach Heupel took a moment to remind everyone that the standard at Tennessee is to have elite defense. How did the 13 TFL Saturday exemplify that?
I didn't hear that last part. I'm so sorry. Oh. Yeah, I mean, again, I think it just speaks more to just playing hard again. That standard's been the same since we stepped in the room. When I took the job, 3 or 4 years ago, we wanted to play great defense here. People said it would be a challenge, for us, and for me personally, never run from a challenge. We wanted that. I've been blessed enough to be in a lot of programs where we've been able to play great defense, and I knew if we had a chance to continue to grow this program, we would play great defense. But I always tell guys at the end of the day, again, it's game by game. We know what that is. But, to this point, the guys are playing at the level we thought they would play.
Last 2, Austin and Rick.
Idris Farouk, he had the big hit there at the end of the fourth quarter, and just kind of referenced some of those guys playing hard there at the end. What is it that you've liked about him, and kind of where's he grown from when he got here to now?
Yeah, he's a super smart kid. We've really had to force feed him to play both sides. He's played field safety, boundary safety for us. We even played him a little bit at star in practice. I just love his instincts. He's always 100 miles an hour. Like I tell him, every open field tackle don't have to be a knockout shot. I think he's starting to learn that. He wants to be able to play, under control. But, man, when we get him close to the box, he's extremely efficient. He's got good footwork. He's a willing tackler. He's aggressive. But I think the main thing, the main strength that I love is that he's coachable and he's extremely smart.
Back here, Coach, one of the fun plays of the night. Joshua alters the pass, and Will takes it all the way back. What are you thinking when that's happening, and how important is it to score on defense, right?
Well, that's always important. God is good, brother. I think, seeing Brooks do what he did, knowing where he's come from, was really it was very satisfying as a coach. The kid works extremely hard, whether it was special teams, whether it was, a rotational guy to being a starter. He's always been the same, extremely smart, and for him to be able to make that play and, give us a boost on defense was, like I said, really satisfying for me, and I'm just happy for him.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Appreciate you guys.